So last time we met, you briefly talked about LM bits, and before we get into the meat of today, but I think it'd be good to tell a little bit more, tell the audience about it, what you're working on, because it's some pretty cool stuff. I know Danny's a massive fan as well.
Yeah, it's very relevant to the topics which we're going to be covering today. So we're covering Bitcoin is looking at. Partly I think what we're going to cover is Bitcoin is looking at areas which historically have kind of been blacklisted. So something like custodianship. What are better forms of custodianship, and can we make good solutions for people to be able to run themselves? And with LM Bits, like one of the original concepts, it came out of a bunch of concepts and problems which we were having with Lightning at the time, and paying in Bitcoin on Lightning. And one of them was that if you decentralize custodianship, if you make being a custodian very, very easy, it kind of makes mockery of laws restricting people from being custodians. If you've just got a few big operators, they're kind of points of failure which can be attacked by government, whatever, with regulations. And I think you see that with technology, if you make things easier to run, more people are going to collectively challenge those regulations and those rules. And with Lightning, for example, and Lightning solutions, quite often an Uncle Jim model where you have maybe a family member running a node, keeping channels, balancing channels, and then people in the family, being able to use that node for their Bitcoin payment services. That's a nice model rather than everyone in the family having their own node. So with LM Bits, there was that concept of making it really easy to run like an open node or an LM Pay, which are both fantastic, great services. And a big shout out to both of them because they were massively inspirational to LM Bits starting. So there was that. And then there was some real world stumbling blocks where I would, if I was developing something like a point of sale, I was playing around with hardware at the time, with microcontrollers and things, trying to make Lightning points of sale. I'd have to make 6 different versions. I need to make a C Lightning version, a LND version, an Eclair version, an LMPay version, an OpenOver. They've all got their own different APIs. So what I needed was something which could sit on any funding source, and it would just have a standard API. So I could just develop. If I had that piece of software, I could just then develop for that API, and then that piece of software could communicate with whatever's underneath it. I wouldn't have to keep having all these different versions of my projects. So there was that. The other one was I'd made an ATM at the time, and all those funding source solutions, it was hard. Well, it was near impossible, apart from maybe LND Hub, to have multiple accounts. So if you had a Lightning node, you had one account, one admin macaroon. If you had Open Node, you had one admin key. And if I've got my ATM and it's got the ability to spend funds to pay people, then if someone breaks into it, they can get my admin keys and they can take all my funds. So I wanted the ability to easily make lots of wallets as well, for it to be trivial, and each wallet has its own API keys. So these are developing for real world issues I was having when I was trying to develop. I think that's probably the best way to kind of build things, because then it's, there's other people like you out there in the world. And there was. And that's what attracted a lot of them. Because I'm not a developer, and I think, I develop, but I'm not I was a teacher, and I was kind of learning while I was building this thing. But thank goodness the project attracted all this incredible talent into it. And as a free and open source project, they were contributing. And quite quickly, we were able to build a piece of software which was very functional. The other thing we wanted was the ability to have extensions. So if you imagine your Lightning node, LM Bits, one of the good ways of describing it is kind of like a WordPress for your node. Depending on what you are and what you're using your node for, you have different requirements and different needs. So if you're a content creator, then you might want some extensions for helping you create content, like putting QR codes in video streams or whatever. Whereas if you're a shop, then you might want a point of sale, or you might want an online shop or online integrations. So you have these different extensions, and you can build out your node in any direction which is relevant to you. And there were lots of us. We were building cool, little Lightning software projects. So there's a guy at one of the Lightning conferences, and he made for the hackathon, he made a jukebox piece of software which was using Spotify's API. So you could connect to a page, and then it would list some songs from a playlist he selected, and then you could pick a song and then pay, and then it would play on a device connected to that Spotify. So you had a cool jukebox thing which you could pay Lightning payments for. A great project, but in order to run it, you would have to go to his repo. You would have to download and run his software in whichever way he's doing that. So that's the sort of thing which is now that's an extension on LMBits. Got in contact with him, and he's fully accredited in there for having the idea originally. But as an extension in LMBits, it's easier then for more people to have access to it. So LMBits to install it, you can install it from the repo. But for a lot of people, they run like a Raspberry Blitz or a MyNode or a Umbrel. And on those systems, it's just a one-click install, and then you get access to all that functionality. So it kind of makes that software available to more people easier. So the extension thing was also very important. And then it's benefited me. Like I built a piece of software, started a piece of software, which I wanted to be able to use. And now I'm using it for more and more with my hardware stuff. So I have some hardware stuff here for you, which I was going to give you.
Oh, wow. This is exciting. I love it when people bring gifts.
Yeah. So here is.
Is this a bomb?
Here's a bomb. Yeah, which you have to smuggle through customs. So in the UK, we have pretty archaic ATM laws, Bitcoin ATM laws. So the idea is if you have an ATM in your cafe or bar, can you make it cheap enough that that if someone comes in and takes it from you, you can just deny all association to it and say, yeah, whatever, take it, it's not mine. And then so this is like 60 quid or something to make, and it's very reliable and works really quite well.
Hold on, this is an ATM.
Yeah, Lightning ATM. So you can put coins in, and then it will just display a LNURL withdraw. The actual project itself. You can also include a bill acceptor. There's a great British company actually called Innovative Technologies, and they make this amazing bill acceptor. And if you plug, because originally with these projects, we had lots of wires and soldering and things like that. But now we're like focusing on so the microcontroller I'm using is an ESP32, but it's got a built-in screen. So now the screen has the microcontroller and everything built into it. And that's like a 15, 20 quid device. And then we can just wire up the coin mech inside.
Are you selling these?
We are actually with LMBits. We are going to have a shop where we can sell some of this stuff. But really, I mean, it's DIY. You can build it yourself. No, this is like Lego. Honestly, look at it. It's just a couple of jumper cables. This box, you can cut this.
Does this work now? Can we like literally do
this is the thing. The wires, actually, some of the wires popped out. So I have got something working though. So the idea was, can we have as an onboarding thing, can we have an ATM, a point of sale, and a hardware wallet, all DIY, which you can build yourself or someone else could build for you. And then can we have those for like 100 quid for the lot? And this is that. So this is like 20 quid. It's like 60 quid. Or it's under 100 quid. So this is like 8 quid, this hardware wallet. This uses the same microcontroller as the POS. But they're all ESP32 based microcontrollers. So
what does that mean?
With microcontrollers, so if you think about like a Raspberry Pi, that's like a crap computer, right?
Yeah.
And quite often people try and program on it, but it's a crap computer. And like, do you need a crap computer? Whereas often what they want to do, they could use with a microcontroller for. And a microcontroller just compiles like, a small script. It doesn't have a whole operating system like a Raspberry Pi would. So it's much more sort of specific, and there's less of an attack vector. But what's cool, so the POS, this is
Can I use that at my football club?
Yes, you could. And you know what's great about it? It's completely offline. So you don't need to connect to anything. So I'm not connected to your Wi-Fi. So I could turn him on, right? And if I select the POS option, which is that first one there, and then it's in GBP because it's offline. So
yeah, but that's what I would want anyway.
It's easier for the people in the bar. So if I put in like a penny there, and if I press the little hashtag thing, I get my little QR code. And then, do you want to see? Have you got a wallet? Do you want to pay it?
Yeah. It's funny. I've actually.
This is like $15, $20 to make. And a lot of people run workshops. Actually, right now, as we speak, Staticus, the guy who came up with the Raspberry Bolt, the first kind of Raspberry Pi Lightning node, he's doing a workshop for this in Frankfurt, I think.
So what wallet will this go to?
So scan that. Have you got like it's an LNURL Pay, so you need like...
Can I use Moon?
Oh, Moon's tricky with LNURLs. I wouldn't use Moon for LNURLs. This is the only problem with... well, try it, because they may have had an update for LNURL Pay.
It says receive Bitcoin or go back to send.
Yeah, use another wallet. Maybe try
I think it's the only one
a
I've
Blue
got.
wallet or a simple Bitcoin wallet.
I don't know if I've got any... I switched to Moon, so I don't...
Moon are implementing the LNURL stuff, but it's tricky for them because they're completely non-custodial.
I've got
Pass here.
My blue wallet's only got 9,019 sats in it.
Well, actually, this is a penny, so this should totally work.
No. If it's a penny, let me do it.
Here we go. Go on. Try it. What have you got? Blue wallet?
Yeah.
Yeah, try it.
Hold on. I like blue wallet. I like both of them, actually. I like them all. Right. Here we go.
Do you get a link? You should get a link back.
Legend.nmbits.
Yeah, click on it.
Oh, no, it did that.
Oh, yeah, open the.
Done.
Yeah,
Hey.
has it got a link you can open? Open the link.
Yeah.
Has it got a number on there?
Yeah.
What's it say?
2289.
So if you click on the hashtag, what does it say?
2289.
So what happened was when we set that payment, it randomly generated a 4-digit PIN, encrypted it, put it inside that QR code. When you scanned it, you passed the encrypted PIN to the server. The server then decrypted it when you made the payment and sent it back as a receipt.
Why did we need
that's your
that
proof
PIN?
of payment because that POS is offline. So there's no way for the person who's using that POS to tell whether you've actually made the payment. You could have like a fake version of Blue Wallet and actually the payment didn't go through and you just faked it.
What wallet does this go to? Where are those sats now?
Right. So that's an interesting question.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite shows ever.
Danny, on the screen, can you open that link up which I sent you? Is that possible?
When did you put Jerome Powell up there?
Today.
We've
fixed inflation, hasn't he?
So we've retired Peter Schiff.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is going to kind of
Hold on, is Schiff gone forever?
Probably not forever.
with LM Bits, you kind of bookmark your wallet. It's like an Insta wallet type thing in the browser. So whoever's watching this now, they could scribble down the wallet and steal our funds. So that's not the best security for us.
Where can they steal it from?
If they took the URL there, they could get to this wallet. So basically, you have like a unique.
So there's no login.
No, not currently. It's funny because people ask for it when they first start using LM Bits. And then we're like, no, you just bookmark the page. It's like an Insta wallet. Just don't show anyone the URL.
But could I have this automatically just pay out to another wallet?
Yeah. So we have this. So we have an extension. Very good question. We have an extension which does exactly that. So basically, if we refresh this.
Do you know why this is called, Danny?
Oh, yeah, there you are.
There you
so
go.
you see your POS payment there for 51
51
sats.
sats.
See, so what this connects to the LNURL device. This is where you can make the POS or you can make the ATM, and you can also set a profit margin as well.
What do you mean profit margin?
So you can overcharge. So that invoice, there was an extra 2% added on. So you can do that if you want to be a bit, as a merchant, if you want to rip your customers off a little bit.
Let me tell you why this is interesting, right? So
It gets more interesting, but okay.
In terms of the football, so everything right now, I'm using the football club as a lens for how we use Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So we have people who come to the game who just want to pay, with their pounds. We've got 3 ways of paying: cash, card, Bitcoin.
Nice.
And we've got multiple payment points. We've got online pre-game, at the gate when you turn up, in the clubhouse, and the other day we ran a barbecue with Danny, right? So if you want to buy online at the moment and say you want to buy merchandise, it's great because Shopify is linked with OpenNode. It just all does it nicely for us. But if you want to buy match tickets, the company we work with has no integration. There's no possibility. So what we'd have to do is a separate ticket. It's just annoying. We're better off saying just buy on the day. In the clubhouse, we have Zettel as our POS for buying beers and stuff. And we also have an iPad with OpenNode already set up if you want to buy your beers or stuff with that. But what we have is 2 other points where we collect money. At the gate, when people arrive, they want to buy a ticket. If they don't have a ticket, they want to buy a ticket, but they want to buy a program. And we also have the barbecue. Both of those points, we can't accept Bitcoin because we haven't got it set up. We just have the Zettel. This would just make it super easy.
Well, then also as well, so there's another function in here. So when I was in El Salvador, I wanted to I had dollars, I ran out of sats. I wanted to be able to go into a shop. And one of those shops, they've accumulated some sats, haven't they? And I wanted to be able to buy the sats back. So this also works as a meat bag ATM. But in lots of parts of the world, if you actually go to an ATM in somewhere like Nigeria or something, an ATM would be a dude with a machine and you do the card payment there and then. So this is kind of quite standard in lots of parts of the developing world or parts of the world without a more established financial systems. So you'll see, so basically there's 4 options you can have on here. We've got 2 of them running at the moment. We've got the POS. If I go to the ATM, okay, it'll ask me to put in a PIN. I'm going to put in a super secret PIN, 878787. Don't tell anyone. And now I'm going to put in an amount, so 2 pence, okay? And now watch this. Look out, because it's offline. So I just press the little hashtag, boom, it's generated the withdrawal link. So now you can scan that with your Blue Wallet and you'll get 2 pence worth of Bitcoin.
How if it's online?
It's offline.
Sorry, how if it's offline? Can
It's
it do?
constructed an LNURL withdraw using, so the LNURL device there, you'll see that it has a secret key. So it's able, this is the software, basically the server, which is, so if you scan that.
Create invoice.
Oh yeah, that's that, yeah, weird Blue Wallet UI. Not one of these Lightning wallets is perfect. Well, actually, Simple Bitcoin Wallet is probably the most perfect Lightning wallet in my mind.
Simple
Bitcoin Wallet, yeah. If you've got an Android, it works really well.
By the way, things are slow here because our internet's slow. Done. ATM, I love that.
Look, there you go.
There you are, and there you see the payment on there. So I just sold you 2 pence worth of, so what you could have, you could say, well, you haven't got any sats. Oh, I'll tell you what, buy £10 worth of sats. And did you know if you pay for your beer in there with sats, you get a discount? And then just suffer the loss. But then people have that experience of accumulating getting some Bitcoin, spending some Bitcoin.
Well, what I really like the idea is, I like the idea of this being at the club.
Yeah, just on the door, people chuck coins in. Yeah.
And I would probably, can you just close it a second? I almost want to have like maybe I'd just print something out that says download a wallet.
Oh yeah.
We'd recommend a wallet, download it, put in your keys, scan it, and done. And people, this is like a fun way of someone to get their first sats.
Do you want to describe what it looks like for people listening?
Yeah, sorry. Anyone who's listening and can't see this, firstly, you should go and check out the YouTube. But basically, Ben brought in something that is about the size of a shoebox, but it's like one of those old cases with the old like number locks on. You remember it? Kind of also looks like a bomb. But the front of it is like an old slot machine. So, like it's basically like a gumball machine.
Yeah.
And so you can put your coins in and then there's a little screen. What's the red button for?
The red button, because
cancel.
You can plug this in.
Yeah.
But it's very low powered. So if you have I have a 12-volt battery, battery pack, you can use that. So you can swap the plug for the battery pack, and then this will just go to sleep every 3 minutes of being idle, and then you can just go up to it and press the button, and it will wake it up. And when it's idle, the 12-volt battery will last years. And that's not an exaggeration. It will last years until someone presses that little button to wake it up.
I think we should have that at the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think we should do? Well, it depends if you're available. But the next meetup we have at the club for a home game, if you can, I think it would be cool if you came down and did some demos and we put that out there and we set all this up.
Well, as I said, there's a version as well which has the bill acceptor. So if you want a bill acceptor as well, it will use as the same software, and the software just recognizes that there's a bill acceptor plugged in and says, "Oh, you want to use a bill acceptor?" You can actually use it.
What do you mean? Sorry, bill acceptor.
Like yes, you can put notes in.
Oh, wow, definitely.
And I've actually, because I like being able to put this in any box. So Amazon, they have these Amazon Basics, safe. You can buy from Amazon. And I bought it, and I thought it was going to be about this big. And then the thing arrived, and it's like this big. So it's kind of quite a big safe, but it's big black metal safe. But actually, it's the metal's thin enough that I could, angle grind a few holes out of it, stick a screen in there, stick a coin mech, stick the bill acceptor, and then you have like an ATM. And it's like the safe itself, I think, costs 60 quid.
Oh, I want that. I'll pay for that.
Yeah, so
and I want our logo on it.
So you're talking for all the electronics and the safe. So you're talking like probably 200 quid to make the whole thing.
I want it.
It's mad, isn't it?
To have it there.
Now, let me show you something else.
Okay.
So if you go to TPO, so basically if you go to manage extensions on here.
So just a quick question. I have to provide the liquidity for it.
Yeah.
So on a Saturday, I'd probably want to put a few £100 of sats in so people can use this.
Well, yeah, what you can do is you can get a bit circular, can't you? So if you're accepting Bitcoin payments, you can have the ATM pull from the same wallet. And then the ATM will just not work if it runs out of funds.
Huh. So where do I go, sorry?
So if you go to manage extensions.
Yep.
And then you'll see all the extensions we have. We've got all sorts of craziness. We've got offline, all sorts of craziness. Scrub is the one which we won't click on it, but this is the one you were talking about here, which is where you can give it an LN pay or an LN address, and then any money which goes into this wallet will just go or automatically get pushed out to that.
Yeah.
This is an acronym I'm trying to push, which is Scrub. So it's like a semi-custodial remittance, something Bitcoin. If you go to TPOS and then open that one, I've already set up a point of sale for you here. This is a software point of sale now. So if you click on the little thing.
Yep.
Sorry, where does it get its rate that it's selling the sats for?
It happens. So we have in LM Bits, it pulls the exchange rate from like several different sources and then averages it.
Okay.
So it's pretty accurate.
And if I wanted to, could I add like, say, a transaction fee?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so there's a 10% for the ATM on that POS there.
That's steep, dude.
well, people are buying Bitcoin. It's fine.
Yeah.
So this here is a completely air-gapped software point of sale. So if you click on the little thing where it says bar and it's got that little icon thing, if you click on that, so if you scan that with your wallet, with your phone, in fact, I'll do it right now. I'll scan this just with a regular normal QR code scanner. The idea is that you can print this out and put it on your bar or in your cafe or whatever and say, if anyone wants to come in and pay in Bitcoin, scan this QR code. I haven't got a signal, so it's not going to work. Scan this QR code and you'll get this point of sale basically on your phone, and it's like mobile ready and everything. So if you close that, we've got a great contributor actually recently who's started contributing to LNbits, and he's added some nice functionality into this. So if you press like a penny or 2 pennies or whatever, press OK. All right, and it says, would you like to leave a tip? So give a 10% tip. And then there we are, if you pay that, Peter. This is just my elaborate way of taking all your sats.
I like
One by one.
I like it, mate. You came all the way to Bedford to take 74 sats off me.
It's a very elaborate scam. So it's important to remember this is a demo server which I'm running. It's also custodial. So the funds are on our Lightning node. But the idea is that with LNbits, you can just run it yourself on your own node pretty easy. If you've got like an Umbrella or Raspberry Blitz or something.
Okay.
Paid?
It's scanning. It's the internet connection. So, okay. So one thing with all this is great, but my accountant will be having a heart attack.
Well, so we have, this is funny because we were talking about Jörg Platzer earlier from Room 77. There we are. So that paid.
So
now
if I go back in here.
Yeah. And if you go to what Bitcoin did, you should see oh no, wait, no, it's the Bed FC.
Ah, right. Oh, sorry.
And he's got the Bed FC. So there's the sats, and then the tips have gone into a different wallet. Because when you set up the point of sale, you can send the tips to a different wallet.
So that could go to the barman.
Could go to the barman and his wallet.
Or can it be split?
So if you go to manage extensions, basically any question you have, we have an answer for. So if you go to manage extensions, and if you go to split payments, where is it? Down there. If you enable that, this gets me really interesting, for particularly like the side of me, which is interesting cooperatives and things. If you go down, scroll down again, and then open up split payments. In here is kind of the UI. I think we need to work on the UI, but basically we've got that source wallet. See where it says Bed FC?
Yeah.
And then we need to work on this UI, right? But we will. You can add in the wallet ID, give it an alias, and then say, okay, 50% of whatever goes into Bed FC is now going to go to this wallet.
No, so what I'm thinking, what I would want with this, we've got a squad of 20 players.
Yeah.
Just put all 20 players in, and then any tips just splits between the team.
Flipping ace. Yeah, do it. That'd be amazing.
Okay.
If you go to manage extensions again, so that's the split. And that's something. So basically, with LNbits, it's a free and open source project. We've all been, contributing a few hours here, a few hours there.
Yeah.
And then obviously because it's so great and people like it, we've had a lot of VC interest over it, and they've been like, okay, can you make a business? Can you make something? Can we employ the people working on this to work on it full time? And then we're like, yeah, but what we don't want to do is that classic thing with the free and open source project, which is good, where they have like an enterprise version and then like a community version of the software, and it sucks. It's like a crappy version and a good version, which you have to pay for.
Yeah, but then you feel obliged to work on the...
Yeah, because you go for the big VC round, and then you're like, oh, and you promise all these things and all this functionality, and yes, it will be paid, blah, blah, blah. So we were talking to VCs for probably about a year and a half about LNbits and how we could like sync it in and do something with it. And eventually I went, because Max from HiveMind, he's a pretty progressive dude. I like him. So I went to him directly, and I'm just like, dude, like undervalue us, just give us enough money to employ like 5 of the developers working on LNbits right now, full time. Because currently we're just doing a few hours here and there. And then just see what happens in a year and a half. We're not going to guarantee we're going to produce any return on investment. We're not going to
give us money.
But it was basically like, we probably will. So we have things we're going to make. So we're going to make the shop where we sell the gizmos. And we're also going to have software as a service. So you'll be able to get to lnbits.com and then just like pay some sats. And then we have a Kubernetes cluster, and you could just go and spin up an LNbits. Like a throwaway LNbits, which is really interesting because you connect to your Tor server and do some fun stuff.